Hi everyone, my name's Tanyella Allison and I am the co-founder of NABU. In this short interview, I'm just going to share a little bit about our story, what's inspiring me at NABU, and some of the ways that we think about innovation and the future of our work. Actually, what motivated me to co-create NABU at the beginning was working in Haiti. I was working at a school there and seeing the incredible passion and drive for access to education in the community. But I don't often talk about the other influences early on. I was really inspired by the work of the Campaign for Female Education, which is an amazing nonprofit organization. It was actually my first job out of college, was working there and seeing the way that a nonprofit, if it's built in the right way, can have positive by-effects on the whole community really inspired me about the power of charity, of social impact, and made me think and dream about creating an organization like that that would have such positive ripple effects on the whole community. So for me at NABU, what really keeps me motivated is I can see that NABU is having those positive ripple effects because of the team members, the incredible leaders that we hire to do the work in the communities we work, because of the artists that we train and we champion their incredible art and they leave us with extraordinary skills, because of the training in digital literacy and the devices that are available through our partners like HP and others. All these are creating really ways for many different impacts in the community that are positive, whether that's from equity, inclusion, employment. And of course, at the heart of that is children and literacy, and how we create that ecosystem around them that enables them to rise to their potential. And that's really what keeps me going every day with this mission. Where do you envision NABU in 10 years? What I love about NABU is that we are more than an organization. We're an idea that education is a basic human right, and that education starts with being able to read. It starts with literacy. And so for us, I know that in 10 years, NABU is going to be continuing to be part of an ecosystem of organizations, governments, corporations, a movement that is increasing access to opportunity for millions of children around the world. And I know that NABU will be at the forefront of that because of our innovation, the scalability of our organization. I know that we'll be doing that. More than that, I see our opportunity in 10 years' time, starting from today, is continuing to champion and advocate for that idea that this is urgent, that the literacy crisis is urgent, that it can't wait, that it's just as essential as food, as shelter, is having the dignity and agency of literacy. And so by 2034, I hope that as a global community, we really are taking that seriously, and that we're making huge strides in closing the educational gap for children around the world. How is NABU staying innovative in our fast-paced, technology-driven world? We are really fortunate at NABU. We are a technology nonprofit. We've always been driven by tech. And so we have been integrating technology into the core of what we do from the very beginning. So if you think about it, NABU is a digital app. We're available on low-end devices and on mobile phones that people across developing countries have access to. And so we're always thinking about how we can make technology more inclusive and more equitable. And we continue to push forward with innovation in this space. So, for example, we have developed a piece of technology called Slate that enables anyone to go in and translate NABU books into their mother tongue language and publish those for free on our app. We're working with our local creators who create our books to actually use AI to speed up their process of creating beautifully culturally relevant illustrations for the stories that we create. And so at NABU, we really believe that technology innovation has to be built to be inclusive by design. It's not going to happen by accident. We have to work hard to make sure that we include people in the process of technology innovation, that we provide them with the necessary training, necessary opportunities to access technology. And that is actually what is the most innovative and exciting part, I think, of using technology in international development, is that it can be a really powerful tool to leverage, but it has to be done by design. So that's what we seek to do at NABU. What is your favorite project that you're currently working on at NABU? My favorite project that I'm working on right now is with our Director of Learning and Pedagogy, Judy Paredes. And Judy's amazing. She has such deep knowledge of education and learning in the classroom. And so we're taking all of that knowledge and thinking about how can we use NABU to help children really improve their literacy skills. How can we go to the next level? Right now, we at NABU are the leading provider of culturally relevant, authentic books in children's mother tongue language. And that is so essential for children's learning. Research shows that if children have access to books in their mother tongue language, they're much more likely to make that leap into learning in English or French or whatever the national language is. And that makes sense, right? If you have access to books in a language that you speak or understand, you're much more likely to be able to learn how to read. And so we're already doing that. It's one of the most cost-effective interventions in early literacy. But with Judy, we're working on how can we go further than that? How can we actually gamify the experience for children? How can we ensure that we are measurably improving literacy rates over time through our app? Could we actually measure that through the app? Judy and I are working on is, could we actually gamify the experience of NABU? Could we integrate comprehension questions into our stories so that we can measurably improve literacy rates over time and measure that through the app directly? So this is a really incredible project, incredible opportunity that we have at NABU as a leading provider of educational materials to actually go a step further in helping to really increase children's ability to comprehend and to measure that impact over time. So I'm really excited about that project. I really believe with NABU that we have this huge potential to actually teach children how to read, potentially. And that's not replacing teachers or replacing parents, but really being an incredibly powerful supplementary tool in teaching children how to read. So when you look at a simple model of basic literacy, under each language, there's an underlying code. And so if you help children to decode letters and words, and then you give them the appropriate background knowledge together over time, and you teach in the right scope and sequence, over time, reading can become automatic, can become fluent. And so I think we have a responsibility to at least try. This is a very ambitious project, but how might we actually increase children's literacy rates through the NABU app? And that is one of the most innovative and exciting projects that we have underway right now at NABU that I'm really excited about. What is your favorite NABU book and why? So my favorite NABU book is called Leela Plays Soccer. It's a book in English and Haitian Creole, and it's one of my favorites because I just really identify with the character of Leela. Leela wants to play football with the boys and they don't want to let her, but she doesn't give up, and her mum really encourages her and she learns to become really good at football, and eventually the boys accept her. And I think that this story just exemplifies so much about the spirit of women that I know, that I admire, that I work with, that I look up to, who are changing the system just by being themselves and just by, bringing their full self to the work. And so I just love that story, and I love the illustrations. It was also one of the first books we ever did at NABU, working with our director, Francoise Thibault in Haiti, bringing together community workshops to create content. And this was one of the stories that came out of that collection. That was in 2016. And it's amazing to think, 8 years later, that book is being read around the world. We even licensed that story to Scholastic. So children across the US are able to have access to that story as well. And it's continuing to fund ongoing work in Haiti. So I love the story for what it really means to me. So I'm really excited to be going back to school. It's been a long time, like 15 years, I would say, that I've been building NABU. And so to have the ability to go back, I am going to do my master's in education at Harvard Graduate School of Education, which I'm really excited about. And my motivation is really to deepen my knowledge around human development in early childhood. And I know there's so much happening right now in education and technology, and there's so many questions about how we can use technology as a tool for equity and for increasing opportunity for learners all around the world. And I want to be part of that. And I think, I'm so fortunate at NABU to have just such an incredible team and an amazing board. We've been working together over the last year to prepare for this transition. And so I know NABU is just going to go from strength to strength. And I hope to contribute back my thought leadership, I suppose, what I learn, and how we can integrate some of the best practices in pedagogy back into NABU and really take our work to the next level in terms of the impact that we can have on children's early learning and literacy and their holistic development. And that's what is exciting me. And I think, it aligns with our values at NABU of the power of education and just lifelong learning. So everyone always asks me, how did you start a nonprofit and how do you sustain it? And there's so many funny, creative ways that are possible to ensure that you can, keep the lights on. So one of the things that we did at NABU in the early days is we were actually a landlord in New York. So we had our office space, we rented the whole floor, and then we subletted to two other companies who basically covered our whole rent. So I guess you could say we were, a co-working company. Before they were really popular, we were maybe the original WeWork, I don't know. But that was one of the ways that we ended up not paying rent and having a great office in the heart of Manhattan to do our work and fundraise. There's so many ways that you can be involved with NABU and help us to enable children to re-arise to their full potential. You can go to our website, it's just nabu.org. You can get involved, you can become a monthly member and support children reading all around the world. Maybe you're a teacher or a parent across the US or around the world and developing countries. You can download our app for free and have access to all of the books in there. So we hope that you enjoy reading with NABU. And you can find us, of course, across social media, #ReadWithNABU.